soap opera fanatics. Welcome back to our channel for another deep dive into the thrilling, unpredictable world of Genoa City. Today is a fantastic day to unpack some truly explosive drama that is about to shake the Newman family to its very core. We have been closely following the terrifying aftermath of the Las Vegas nightmare, and the latest revelations are nothing short of breathtaking. Grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's get right into the heart of the story. The psychological fallout from the catastrophic events in Las Vegas has cast a long, suffocating shadow over Genoa City. But nowhere is that darkness felt more acutely than within the walls of Sharon Newman's home. The air inside the cottage has been thick with unspoken tension, a fragile piece built on the shaky foundation of Sienna Bacall's fragmented, inconsistent stories. Sienna has been spiraling, her panic attacks becoming more frequent and severe as the weight of her own deception regarding Matt Clark's supposed death begins to crush her from the inside out. While Noah Newman has been hovering over her with the blind, desperate devotion of a man trying to save a broken bird, Sharon has been watching with the cold, calculating eyes of a survivor. Sharon's maternal instincts, honed by decades of trauma and betrayal, have been screaming at her that something is fundamentally wrong with Sienna's narrative. That hypervigilance finally pushes Sharon across the boundary of polite boundaries, leading to a shocking invasion of privacy that will alter the course of their lives forever. In a moment of pure, unadulterated desperation to uncover the truth while Sienna is incapacitated by her own spiraling panic, Sharon makes the fateful decision to search through the young woman's personal belongings. It is a drastic measure, but Sharon is a mother fighting an invisible war, and she refuses to let her son become collateral damage. As Sharon's trembling hands sift through Sienna's bag, her fingers brush against an unnatural thickness in the lining. Driven by a sickening intuition, Sharon tears at the fabric, her breath catching in her throat as she pulls out a hidden, dog-eared photograph. The image captured on that glossy paper is a visceral punch to the gut, a horrifying snapshot from a past that was supposed to be buried in the neon-lit underbelly of the Nevada Dane in the Sahara Desert. It is not just a picture, it is a ticking time bomb that has been smuggled directly into the heart of the Newman family. The photograph, faded at the edges but chillingly clear in its subject matter, shows a young, vibrant Sienna Bacall flashing a radiant, carefree smile. But it is the man standing beside her, with his arm draped possessively around her waist, that makes Sharon's blood run ice cold. It is a young Matt Clark. This is not the battered, desperate monster of their recent nightmares, but a younger, more polished version of the sociopath who inflicted unimaginable trauma upon Sharon's life. The intimacy radiating from the photograph is undeniable. Their smiles are conspiratorial, their body language speaking volumes of a deep, intertwined connection that completely shatters the narrative Sienna has been peddling. Sienna had painted herself as a tragic victim, a collateral casualty caught in Matt's web of violence, but this photograph tells a terrifyingly different story. It is the visual proof of a dark, willing partnership. Armed with this devastating piece of evidence, Sharon does not hesitate. The protective rage of a mother bear takes over, transforming her from a comforting presence into an absolute force of nature. When Sienna finally emerges from her panic state, she finds herself physically and emotionally cornered by a woman who has survived the devil himself. Sharon blocks the exit, the temperature in the room seemingly dropping by 10 degrees as she holds the photograph up, her hand shaking not from fear, but from a potent mixture of fury and disgust. Sharon does not yell. She does not need to. Her voice is a lethal, razor-sharp whisper as she demands a comprehensive, unvarnished explanation for the smiling ghost staring back at them. She methodically dismantles Sienna's victim complex, demanding to know how the woman sleeping in her son's bed came to possess an intimate keepsake of the man who terrorized their family. Faced with the undeniable, photographic proof of her hidden past, the fragile dam holding back Sienna's psychological defenses completely breaks. The color drains from her face, her knees buckle, and she collapses into a heap of tears and hyperventilation. The carefully constructed facade of the innocent, traumatized bystander shatters into a million irreparable pieces. Between agonizing, breathless sobs, the horrific truth finally spills from Sienna's lips. She tearfully confesses that she was not just a random captive or an unlucky pawn in Matt Clark's sadistic games. She was his lover. But the confession does not stop at a toxic romance. It plunges into much darker, more sinister territory. Sienna admits that she was Matt's very first accomplice in the Las Vegas underworld, a willing participant in his early days of grifting, manipulation, and crime. This revelation is a catastrophic paradigm shift. To be Matt Clark's accomplice means to be intimately acquainted with his cruelty, to have stood by his side or worse, assisted him as he destroyed lives for his own amusement and profit. Sienna's tears paint a picture of a young woman who was perhaps groomed, perhaps seduced by the danger, but ultimately complicit in the creation of the monster that Matt became. She tries to explain the nuances, the fear, the twisted loyalty that bound her to him, but the words fall on deaf ears. For Sharon, the nuances of Sienna's past are entirely irrelevant. The only truth that matters is that Sienna shares a dark, criminal lineage with the man who stalked, abused, and traumatized Sharon in ways that still haunt her nightmares. The sheer horror of this realization washes over Sharon like a tidal wave of revulsion. She looks at the weeping woman on her floor and sees not a victim in need of saving, but a Trojan horse that has breached the walls of her family's sanctuary. Sharon is absolutely paralyzed by the terrifying thought that her beloved son, Noah, is deeply, passionately in love with a woman whose veins run with the same metaphorical toxic blood as his mother's greatest abuser. Noah, with his endless capacity for empathy and his tragic tendency to play the white knight, has unknowingly tethered his heart to a woman who helped sharpen the very blades that Matt Clark used against the Newman family. The psychological violation is profound, leaving Sharon feeling physically ill as she processes the magnitude of Sienna's deception. The impending fallout for Noah Newman is going to be nothing short of emotionally apocalyptic. Noah has always been the tragic romantic of the Newman family, a man who desperately seeks to heal the broken women he invites into his life. He looked at Sienna and saw a beautiful, damaged soul that only his love could repair. He fought for her, defended her against his family's suspicions, and was ready to build a future with her. When the reality of this photograph and Sienna's confession is finally laid bare before him, it will completely destroy his worldview. The foundation of their entire relationship has been revealed as a massive, toxic lie. How can Noah ever look at Sienna again without seeing the ghostly, smiling face of Matt Clark hovering over her shoulder? The betrayal will cut him to his very core, shattering his trust and leaving him questioning every single moment they shared. As a dedicated viewer and a friend who loves analyzing these complex characters, I have to offer some honest commentary on this explosive situation. Let's start with Sharon Newman. Some might argue that digging through Sienna's purse was an unjustifiable invasion of privacy, a paranoid overstep. I completely disagree. Sharon is a survivor of extreme psychological and physical terror. When your instincts are forged in the fires of Matt Clark's abuse, you do not ignore them. Her mama bear response is not just justified, it is necessary. She smelled a predator in her home, and she did exactly what she had to do to protect her cub. Sharon's ruthlessness in this moment is a testament to her strength and her absolute refusal to let history repeat itself with her children. On the other hand, we have Sienna Bacall. It is difficult not to feel a fleeting moment of pity for her as she crumbles on the floor, weeping over the sins of her youth. She is undeniably a tragic figure, likely manipulated and twisted by Matt at a vulnerable age. However, my sympathy abruptly ends when I consider the sheer magnitude of her ongoing deception. She looked Sharon and Noah in the eyes, ate at their table, accepted their protection, all while knowing she harbored an intimate connection to their greatest tormentor. Playing the helpless victim while hiding a past as an accomplice is a level of emotional manipulation that borders on sociopathic. Sienna may not be the monster Matt is, but she certainly learned how to wear a mask from him, and for that, She deserves the harsh judgment she is receiving. Then there is poor, sweet, eternally naive Noah Newman. My heart genuinely aches for him. Noah has an agonizing history of choosing women who are fundamentally wrong for him, women who bring chaos and pain into his orbit. He wants so desperately to be the hero, to provide a safe harbor, that he completely blinds himself to the glaring red flags waving right in front of his face. This heartbreak is going to be the most devastating one yet because it involves a direct link to his mother's trauma. Noah is going to have to face the bitter reality that his love cannot fix someone who is built on a foundation of lies, and I fear this betrayal will harden his gentle heart permanently. In the wake of this horrifying confession, the relationship between Noah and Sienna stands on the absolute brink of total collapse. There is no coming back from a lie of this magnitude, no amount of couples therapy that can erase the image of Sienna smiling next to Matt Clark. Sharon, operating with the fierce, unyielding power of a Newman matriarch, makes a chilling, non-negotiable vow. She stands over the weeping Sienna and declares, with absolute finality, that Sienna will pack her bags and leave Genoa City immediately. Sharon swears that if Sienna ever comes near Noah or the Newman family again, she will personally ensure that the full, crushing weight of the Newman Empire is brought down upon her, exposing every dark secret she has ever tried to hide. So, what will happen next in this gripping saga? My prediction is that the confrontation between Noah and his mother over this revelation will be explosive. Noah will initially resist, his heart warring with his head, but the photographic evidence and Sienna's own admission will force him to accept the devastating truth. Sienna will be exiled, cast out of the Newman sanctuary, but her departure will not be the end of the danger. With Matt Clark secretly still alive and plotting his revenge, a banished, desperate Sienna could become the perfect pawn for him to use one last time. Furthermore, as Noah's world crumbles, do not forget that Audra Charles is waiting patiently in the wings. Audra has been circling like a shark, observing the cracks in Noah's relationship, and she will absolutely use his profound vulnerability to swoop in and claim him for herself. This storyline is a masterclass in psychological drama, proving once again that in Genoa City, the past is never truly dead and buried. It is always waiting to claw its way back to the surface. The emotional wreckage left in the wake of Sienna's confession will take months, if not years, to clear. How do you think Noah will react to the ultimate betrayal? Do you believe Sharon is right to banish Sienna, or should she show mercy to a woman who was manipulated by the same monster? Drop your thoughts, theories, and passionate opinions in the comments section below, and make sure to share this article with your fellow Y and our fans so we can all discuss the impending fallout together.